The Usos are one of the best tag teams in wrestling today. I mean, they have won the tag team titles for 7 times and their matches always entertain the crowd with their high flying moves or whenever they are a heel with their cocky heel tactics. But there was a time the future was not looking good for the Usos because their babyface act was getting stale and they needed a big change. I mean, everything had to change. This is the exact moment the Usos' career was saved. 2016 was one of the best years for WWE, especially SmackDown following the brand split. All the top guns were on Raw and on SmackDown the young underutilized talent were there. I mean, when it comes to the tag team division, it was stacked with talent like American Alpha, Gallows and Anderson, The New Day. Although The New Day came in 2017, Slater and Rhino, the Wyatt family, the Usos, it was stacked. But to stand out in the land of opportunities, the Usos had to change because nobody thought that WWE will turn the Usos heel because they were so lovable as the babyfaces. But still the fans wanted the Usos to turn heel because their babyface act was getting stale. They were calling for the Usos to turn heel. September 6th, 2016, the Usos vs American Alpha in the semi-finals of the 8-man tag team tournament. American Alpha were drafted from NXT to SmackDown, so technically they are rookies on SmackDown. The Usos tried to show some respect, but as soon as the bell rang, they attacked American Alpha. But Chad Gable and Jason Jordan fought back and hit their finisher and pinned the Usos in 28 seconds. It was an upset. The Usos then snapped. They just dismantled American Alpha in a post-match beatdown and finally the Usos were heel. The heel turn was shocking, but it was successful. And the heel turn was super necessary for the Usos because their babyface act was going nowhere. The fans were not buying the gimmick anymore. I mean, the face paint and the bright colorful costume worked for them in the past, but it was getting boring and it was not clicking for the fans anymore. So WWE decided to repackage the Usos into something different as a heel because they always had the charisma and they know how to hype up the crowd. And apparently, Vince McMahon wanted the Usos to keep the face paint, but the Usos just were against it. They didn't want the face paint, they wanted to change everything. And so it did. When the Usos attacked American Alpha, the explanation they gave was very simple. The crowd cheers for American Alpha even though they have done nothing on the main roster yet, but even after busting their ass for 6 years, the Usos were not respected. I mean, the fans don't respect them. And the Usos will not be disrespected now and they will not care for the fans anymore. And then the heel run of the Usos began. Face paint was gone, black and white costume, edgier persona, new badass attitude, intense promos, and of course, the new theme. By this point, the Usos had established themselves as the top heels on SmackDown and made their presence felt every passing day and won the tag titles in March of 2017. The New Day were drafted to SmackDown in 2017 and immediately we knew they were going to face each other in spite of the stacked tag team roster. And boy oh boy, that was a legendary tag team feud. The series of matches between New Day and the Usos was so good that it lifted the tag team division on SmackDown. The tag team matches from being on the kickoff show to the main card of a pay-per-view, the Usos vs the New Day matches were top notch. And who could forget that rap battle? Damn, it was so good. This feud became so good that the creative was unsure about the ability of other teams and made sure that it was either the New Day or the Usos who were top contenders for the tag titles in order to face each other. Yes, WWE was over-relying on the Usos and the New Day, so much so that the people became kind of frustrated by the title changes every other pay-per-view. I mean, if the Usos hadn't turned heel, I am pretty sure that they would have become irrelevant by now and no one would be talking about them. And who knows, they would have been released from WWE in 2020. Who knows? But as they turned heel in 2016 by attacking American Alpha, they brought that edgier persona in their promos and in their matches. They revitalized the tag team division with their feud against the New Day. It was probably the best thing that happened to the Usos. Even though they turned face, but they kept that edgier persona and they kept that intense promo, that attitude. The fans were digging that, and this heel turn of Usos did definitely saved their careers. If you want to know more exact moments like how Becky Lynch's career was saved or how CM Punk was ruined, check out the videos displaying on your screen right now.